What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Well, with the ongoing discussion about food addictions and food issues and food relationships and et cetera, I was having a discussion with one of my clients, Sophia, and we were talking about the relationships of food and different addictions and the different things that people go through. And I told her just now, I said, you know, I'm actually going to put up a video very soon, and I just decided to make it right now, of one of the things. I mean, I had that thing going on with Diet Coke a couple of years ago. I was drinking fucking like a gallon a day and wasn't even drinking water, and realized I was like, fuck, what is it about the Diet Coke? I don't know, something in the Diet Coke that triggers something in my brain. And what I realized was the Diet Coke is, well, it's Coke in general. And when I was a kid, that's all we really drank was Coke. It wasn't really milk, it wasn't juice. My mom was a big Coke person, so we drank Coca-Cola all the time. We come in from recess, Jesus Christ, from playing outside in the summer, boom, 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 chug down Coca-Cola, you know, with supper, Coca-Cola, with breakfast. Usually breakfast was milk, but any other time of day, Coca-Cola. So like I would drink that Coke and it would remind me of my childhood, which was very carefree. It was a very carefree time in my life. It was a great time in my life. Big family, lots of friends, always playing outside. I mean, my childhood itself, like 8, 9, 10 years old, was amazing. And I think it's probably one of the best things ever as far as not having a worry in the world, whether it be, you know, competition or relationships or money or whatever. You're in that period of time and you're in that zone. So a few years ago, I got done with the competition. Now, for the whole competition time, I didn't go to fast food places. I was very much on a bro thing, not very flexible, no restaurants or nothing like that. So 12, 16 weeks, whatever the fuck it was that I was doing. Afterwards, one of the first places I wanted to hit up, actually I had a protein shake, but the next morning when I got up, the first thing I wanted, I was like, I want McDonald's. Now, I was happy about where I placed. I don't remember where it was, but I didn't wind up winning. So, I mean, I was a little bummed out about that and disappointed. So I went to McDonald's, hadn't had it in a long time. I hadn't really thought about it much, but drove by it and was like, I'm going to go to McDonald's. So I went to McDonald's, sat down, had a Big Mac, a cheeseburger, a fry. Basically had the shit that I would normally eat. Probably about 2,000 or 3,000 calories went down in that meal. And I noticed for the next 3 days, all I wanted to eat again was McDonald's. And I almost couldn't stop myself. So I would go to McDonald's again and eat. And I was actually on video, some of my videos, you see me drinking the McDonald's. It was in between the Sean Ray and the Delaware. I was like fucking just eating McDonald's like every day. And I was starting to think, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can I not get McDonald's out of my head? And then I was like, what are they putting, like chemicals in the food? Of course they put chemicals in the food, but it's not like the chemicals themselves. Yes, some of those chemicals can be addictive. Like they've proven the fact that they combine flavors and stuff to get a reaction in the brain, to get you to want to eat the foods more so that you buy more of the foods and you stay a consistent customer. Yes, that's happening. But there was something deeper, and I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why the fuck do I want this food so goddamn bad? Why am I thinking about McDonald's? It's like, not all day I would think about McDonald's, but I'd be like, oh, it's time to eat again. Oh, I want McDonald's. Like, it was the first thing that popped in my head when I wanted food. And then I really started to think about it. When I was a kid, my parents owned a linen store. I don't know if I've told this story. I may have told this story before. It was called JW Discount Linen. My father's name is Jerry Ward. My mom's name is Joanne Ward. My brother's name is Justin Ward. We're all JWs. So it was JW Discount Linen. They sold towels and blankets and sheets and stuff that you would, need for like, I guess like Bed Bath & Beyond would be nowadays. They didn't have that back then. But it was stuff that everybody would need all the time. So they opened a store. And it was a little store, and my parents owned it, operated it, ran it 7 days a week. And Saturdays, I'd be in school all week. I was very young. And Saturdays, we would go from home to, me and my dad would go from home to McDonald's, get my mom some food and get us food, and then drive to the store. And my brother was young at the time. He was probably eating it too. He's probably like 2 or 3 years old. And we would sit in the back. It was like the back storage room or whatever, like the little office kind of area. We would sit back there with this little tiny TV with the rabbit ears that fucking sticking out of the top like this. And we would watch WWF. That's what it was called back then. Now it's WWE. WWF. We'd watch Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Coco Beware, The Junkyard Dog, Nikolai Volkov. We'd watch all these guys, and me and my dad and my brother. My brother he was so small he didn't fucking know, but me and my dad were like yelling at the TV. We watched the British Bulldog come on with the dog, and we'd eat McDonald's and we'd watch wrestling. Now, wrestling itself, watching it, brings me back to those times. It gives me a good feeling. I watch it as often as I can. Haven't been watching it lately because I've just been too busy. But for the longest time, like, you know, me and my dad would sit down and watch wrestling together. The first thing he says, like, you know, when I go to visit them, I always tell Aaron, I say, watch, 10 minutes into the visit, he's going, hey, I've been watching wrestling. Wrestling was like our thing. The McDonald's, that time, that feeling, wrestling, it all came together to create a feeling of well-being, satisfaction, and happiness, and family time. It did all that. So when you split those things up and you no longer have them, like my parents live up there, I live here, I'm an adult, the stresses, et cetera, et cetera, you eat this food, it literally, because we did it so often every week, it triggers something in your brain that's been mapped out to feeling that again, to feeling that safe comfort feeling, that, you know, that carelessness, that comfort feeling, which I want to comfort food. That's what it becomes. And I remember realizing, fuck, you know, like, I grew up on this. Fuck, that's why I'm going after it. I grew up on it. I was taught from an early age that this is what we did as a family. And it was good times. It was carefree, careless, fucking fantastic times as a kid. You know, with your parents. My dad, I looked up to him like he was a fucking superhero. He was big, he was strong. You know, he was, you know, was fucking everything. And he liked wrestling, and I liked wrestling, and me and my brother liked wrestling. And we liked to watch the good guys beat the bad guys. We liked to watch Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik. You know, like all this shit. And McDonald's played a part in that. So it's like if Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik are not on TV, my parents don't have a linen store, the only thing available to me to make me feel like that again and have those feelings is McDonald's. A fucking food. And that's why, you know, I stepped back and I was like, you know what? There's a lot more to the way food reacts with your brain, smell reacts to your brain, even music, the sound of certain things. You know, they've PTSD. If someone is in Iraq and they have a grenade thrown at them, anytime they hear a fucking car backfire, they're going to freak the fuck out because the brain is mapped from that sound. You know, if you had a great time in your life, I mean a fucking awesome time in your life, and you kept hearing the song that was in heavy rotation over and over again, or like you and your ex-girlfriend in high school had a song, when you hear that song again, you'll think of her in that time. It'll bring you right back there like that, just hearing it. So there's a lot of stimulus to the brain that brings back memories and good feelings and bad feelings. And you really have to step back and say, you know, it is what it is. You know, it is definitely doing something to your psyche to make you feel better, like a drug, like alcohol. You know, we do most things we do to feel better. You know, we exercise so we feel better. Well, I feel better when I exercise. We eat certain foods so you don't feel bloated and disgusting and gas and diarrhea. So you're even eating certain ways for that. You're, you know, drinking alcohol to relax. You're taking drugs to forget. Like, you're on antidepressants to feel better. I mean, everything is basically to feel good, right? We do everything to feel good. So why is eating McDonald's, which reminds me of my childhood, any different? It's not. It's exactly the same thing. But the difference is I know this and I accept this and I embrace this. And I know for a fact I haven't had McDonald's, I can't tell you how long. It's been fucking years. If I go to have it again, I'm going to have the same trigger. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I'm 40 years old. I'm still fucking, I don't want to say battling it, because I'm totally aware of it. I'm able to control it because I accept it. If you're one of those people who does not accept it and says, it's just food, it doesn't, blah, blah, blah. No, you're fucked. You know what I mean? You have to understand your psyche. You have to understand that food can be used as a drug, and a lot of people do. Hence the 600-pound fucking life show. Those people medicate themselves with food to 600 fucking pounds. I mean, I look in the mirror now. I gained 20 pounds in the last week since the fucking show. And I look in the mirror now, I'm like, holy fuck, I put on a lot of weight. Imagine being 600 pounds. Those guys put on another 450 pounds compared to what I put on. And they still keep eating because of the feeling that they get. So that's just my story. It's a little story time. And be aware that food is a drug. It can definitely be used as a drug. It is a fuel for your fucking body, and that's all it is. But it is absolutely being used as a drug by millions and millions of people. So it is what it is. But if you're one of these people and you're questioning something, you're questioning because it's real. It's a reality. You're feeling that something is off. Embrace that. Try to understand it. And then just be aware of it, and you'll be able to control it a lot better. Biosafetraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biosafetraining.com is a blog. It's the McDonald's is not in this bicep, and we're out.